Generic greetings and welcome back to Airships Conquer the Skies. Once again, today's beverage is a nice elderflower and peach cordial, very refreshing. So in the previous video of Airships, we designed and then tested a vessel of questionable performance. Let's just go over to Open Design and we'll load up the Excalibur, which several people have commented looks like a Space Marine battle barge, which I can't really disagree with. It should have a bigger shield on the front, but apart from that, it's about the right proportions. Anyway, the Excalibur was made to be like a command vessel. It has max crew, it's quite expensive. It's not terribly effective though, because it has a couple of main weaknesses. Firstly, these rockets on the front and such are fairly useless. If I was going to make a version 2, which I'm not going to be doing this episode, that's devoted to something else, we would probably remove all of these and either put straight cannons on it or most likely miniguns. Just fill the entire thing with miniguns across the entire area, because that would give us a lot of forward-facing firepower. I'd probably remove the torpedoes because it's just a bit too, well, they're not really that useful. We would probably remove all of these miniguns and instead stagger flak cannons and give it more screen, and then we would alter the armour. Now, people did suggest in the previous video to add shell armour because that gives us lift, so if I say shell and fill, you can see it gives us a service ceiling of 62 metres, whereas the steel wall was 28, so that's better. Dragonhide would have given us 31, and Dragonhide's really, really good. 15 blast and 5 piercing, 60 HP, and when you compare that to steel wall, it's just better. Shell armor is really good as well, but it doesn't have the HP or the absorbing properties. Either way, that's probably what I would do. I'd maybe reskin it, although I was trying to avoid the Dragonhide and shell armor because that's not available through research. You have to actually go and mash stuff up to take that. Actually, you might be able to start with Dragon Riders and that would give you Dragonhide. I'm not sure. Anyway, and we might add some more lift things to this, like pressurized suspendium chambers, but that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to make another vessel. And what I wanted to do, I wanted originally to make a small carrier. We're going to call it the Harrier, by the way. And the problem with the small carrier is it's just not a great idea because of how expensive the planes are and how fastly they get taken out. How fastly? How fastly? I really said fastly. Wow. How fast they get taken out. But there's another way of doing things. We could make a mobile airfield, as in something that's not very fast at all, something that doesn't have much lift, so the service ceiling is terrible. What it does have is it has a couple of planes, probably between, I would say, 2 and 4 I would aim for, probably 4. It would have flak pointing, well, obviously up, and it would have a gun on one side that would be able to take out static structures. So the idea, the way you would field them is by bringing them in on the map as normal, and then moving them into position, and then grounding them and leaving them there, and don't bother with them. So we could go with cannons, we could go with aerial torpedoes, things like that, but they're quite expensive. Now, my original idea was to have a dorsal turret at the top, but that would not really be good because of how it points up. It's also quite expensive. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have on the front a saw blade. Now, this could be a big mistake, and I'm just pointing that right out now. I'm pointing that from the beginning that this could be a terrible idea, and probably is. But the idea is that we'll be able to go to a position, we will be able to start cutting up a defensive structure, and we'll just land it there. And then if we need to take it off and move, then we can. The other option was to put a suspendium cannon on it, but the suspendium cannon is 500, and that's going to be a little bit problematic. Also, what I wanted to do, the reason I wanted to put a saw blade on it is because we're going to have flak pointing up. The flak might be able to shoot as well, and also, this is another thing, if they have high-level bombers or anything like that, they're going to be bombing their own structures. But this is all just a plain mess around, so let's just see what we can do. So we're definitely going to need some flak cannons. So I'm going to place some flak cannons there and there. I'll place some more at the back as well, but ideally we want, well, that should do us. We will have to have some basic corridors with ladders to connect all of these up. We are going to have an ammo store right next to that. We'll have a fire point right next to that, and then we will also need to focus on our aircraft, which will be, well, what will it be? There's biplanes, there's bombers, there's triplanes. The problem with bombers is that obviously it will be hitting us as well, or maybe hitting us. I'm thinking that we'll have Is biplanes the better one? Biplane is the better one. We'll have a biplane there and a biplane there. We'll have our extra flak. 1, 2, 3. Although I wanted to make it go a bit further up. For reasons that might become clear in a moment. It'll have to be 1, 2, like that. Maybe. Because I wanted to have a deck gun and put a deck gun in there. That could function. It could work. And then, do we have a deck gun on the back? We have a flipped deck gun. Why not? Deck gun flipped, and then we have a bomber on the back, which I still think might be a mistake, but let's try that. Okay, current cost is 2,000. It's already more expensive than I wanted it to be, but hey ho. And then we have some more flak on the back there, and that's the entire vessel. Okay. So, that's all put in. We need to add somewhere to get this thing moving. So we're going to have propulsion, and we're going to have a large propeller would not be overly right for this because of the speed. We don't really care how slow this thing is. I'm going to put that there. In fact, you know what I might do? If I remove that and move that up to there, we'd actually be able to shrink this right down, and that's probably a better idea. Have it very flat. Yes, I think that's what we're going to do. So there's that connected up there. We need a fire point, which will go in there, and that'll be right next door to the coal store, if I can find that in resources. Coal store will go there. And then we'll be able to, well, we have to have things like command and crew. Actually, if we put that there, would it just, oh, it would serve the purpose that we need. Yeah, that's fine. So we will have to connect this back end up. So let's put in another ammo store, and we'll put an ammo store in probably here, and then we'll have a fire point there. We're going to have, although if we put the other one up there it would be better, but then that's a lot of explosion, and no, let's not actually. And then we're going to put some standard corridors with ladders in this to connect all that up, and connect that up, and then connect that up. So that should be the entire ship technically, well, flying. We need to have some suspendium chambers, which we will put in there. That will give us a service ceiling of 58 meters. That's not much. So let's do that, and then move this further along to there. Ideally more coal. Actually, no, let's not. We don't need more coal. That is totally fine. So we need a way to give commands to the ship. I'm going to remove these 3 things like that, because if I put instead some quarters in there, we should... we don't have access to the top. Okay, so we'll get rid of the quarters then, and instead we will use berths, because berths do have ladders in them. So it's command and crew, berth 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have crew of 18, recommended crew 36, so quarters will have 1, and then 1 there, and 1 there. That's overcrewed it a little bit, but not too much of a problem. We'll have a sick bay in here. We'll have a repair bay. Actually, we need a cockpit as well. Cockpit, no, bridge rather, can go about there. That's fine. We'll have that there. That's fine. Recommended crew 41. Let's make it 54, and we'll put some. Do I want to put some troops in? Guard barracks would be useful, wouldn't it? Guard post will go there. Let's put our overlays on for that walk. It's going up and round is the problem. We'll just put that there. Okay, that's fine. And we just need more supply hatches now. Is there anything else we need? Don't think so. Service ceiling is really, really high. Armor. Heavy steel armor. Service ceiling at 11 meters. Well, that's just about right, isn't it? Because we were going to be ground hogging anyway. It's dangerously low, the service ceiling. That's just the game's opinion. Right, let's go for... It's probably right, to be honest, but hey-ho. Let's go for... I would really like Hussar bays, actually, but yeah, maybe Hussar bays would have been better on this one instead of the bombers. No, we're done. We've done it now. So resources, and then reinforce supply hatch 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 meters service ceiling. Perfect. Right. Save the design as the Harrier. Save. Will this work? I very much doubt it. Leave. Combats. Add airship. The Harrier. I can't even place it. Okay, it is dangerously low. Right, let's go back. Airship editor. Let's try that again. There's the Harrier. So we need to shrink this down somewhat. What's the best way of lightening it up? Armor. We've got heavy steel armor, which is 90 HP, 36 blast damage, 12 piercing damage. What we'll do is with steel armor, we'll put the steel armor on the bits that we don't really care too much about, and that should hopefully lighten it up. It's things like the crew quarters and such. Like that. And the water. I'm not really too bothered if the water gets hit because we've got so much of it. And that gives us 16 meters. All of this I want armored up. The walkways I'm not really too bothered about. These don't have armor anyway, do they? No. Let's give us 17 meters. Let's just save that design. Well, actually, you know what we should do? We should actually paint it as well. So paint red colour, because most of our ones have been like that. And then it's like check pattern it. Because we can. And oh, hang on, that one and that one, I think. Yes. Is that right or wrong? I think it's okay. I also realised it looks really shifty. These bits look like eyes. It's like, it's got it's squinting a bit as well. It's not too sure about the back end of the plane. Right, save the design. Save the designs of Harrier. There we go. Overwrite it. Yes. Okay, leave that. So, combat. Not going to work. Dawn. Not your day. We will add in the airship of the Harrier, which has a dangerously low service ceiling, but it is more than enough to make it fly. That is a total of 3,900. So we're going to add a building. And what sort of building do we have? I mean, the problem is we're never going to be able to defeat stuff like this. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Look at the size of that. You get two of those. You get two of those for one of them. It's just not going to work, is it? It's just not going to work. We'll say add airship, and we'll give it... Oh, I'm not going to have the Dresden. That'll just be terrible. The New York, the Sterling... Coventry. We'll put the Coventry on, for example. So, there we go. And that is 3,960, 3,002. So, close enough. So, apparently, this should be able to take out both of these. I have my doubts. I start the fight, and immediately we will move this right forward and go, go, go. So, it is not the fastest vessel in the world. Our planes have now taken off, and you can see we are happily assaulting. We are using our flak guns to quite decent effect to really hurt the Coventry, and this thing is moving forward into melee range, or what we could describe as that, and we are now starting to chop bits of it up. If we go to outside view, it's actually taking a bit of a beating, but not a terrible amount of damage has been put on this one. You can see the Coventry is having a lot of problems evading these turrets here, and oh, it's going to have even less problems evading that because it's just been destroyed. We are losing the back end. The back end is pretty much destroyed, and we have lots of fires, and we are now on the ground. So we have involuntarily landed, but at least we are down there. The saw blade is doing work. Not great work. Certainly not great work, but it's doing work. And we've lost that fight. So, yeah, that didn't entirely work. Let's go back to combat. Back to, say, I don't know, like a nice, we'll have a night fight. And we'll add the airship once more. We'll say the Harrier. And let's see what it is like against other airships. So, airships, what's something around the same amount of money? Well, obviously the Harrier itself, but that doesn't really give us any decent fight. The Coventry is... I mean, we could have 2 Coventries. Is that right? You can have 2 Coventries for the price of that. You can have more than 2 Coventries. Well, let's just start the fight then. So this is the Coventry against... against this thing. So it's coming close. It's actually managed to ground itself. We are going to put ourselves underneath it, which is going to be all kinds of bad when this thing breaks and then lands on top of us. But because we are so close, you can see that some of their missiles, some of their rockets are actually hitting that there. It's now, it looks like it's been taken out and it's now landed on top. And there we go, it's now carving straight through the centre of the ship, which we did expect. But we have managed to take 1 Coventry out. Our flak guns are still firing away, and we are using... Where's the bomber? The bomber's still there, the bomber's still working, and the planes are still working. Okay, that's actually surprising to me. We might win the fight. They're taking damage. Shots are still going out. And they're not able to deal with the planes. That's more of a downside with the Coventry. Even a couple of rifles would have sorted this out for them. Okay. That's a win. Surprisingly, that's a win. Okay. If I sound shocked, it's because I am. That wasn't too bad. Alright, this changes things actually, because I reckon with a couple of tweaks it might not be as terrible as first thought. So, what was the main couple of issues? Firstly, the saw is garbage. We sort of knew that anyway, so let's deal with that by removing it completely. What do we want to replace it with? My view is aerial torpedoes, because that would give us some nice long-range bombardment. The other option is to put in some cannon. So there's 3 cannon there. That would give us a better chance at things in the air, but that's not really this thing's purpose, is it? It's to get to a place and just land. Let's go back to that original idea. 3 cannons or 3 aerial torpedoes. Aerial torpedoes will bring the price to 4,584, whereas cannons, standard cannon, would be 4,000. 4,000. I think these would be better for our needs. So we're going to go with that. What about actually bigger cannon? Heavy turret. More cannon. That is a strange one, actually. If we put that on there. Hang on, remove that cannon there. That's actually not a terrible idea. And it's cheaper. And it's got a good arc. Is this daft? Am I thinking this through? Almost certainly not. But that does fit in. It does fit in. Is it worth it? That. And then 2 cannon. Right. There's that. That flies still. Yeah. Ah, that's in. The other problem was these always blowing up, which was not good. I'm actually going to remove all of these because they are weight 15, whereas the corridors are weight 4, and also we don't need that many air sailors, quite frankly. We don't even need these here. Was it the explosion when one of these goes up and takes the rest out? Was that the main issue? I think it was. What we could do is remove that deck gun, remove this, get rid of these, and just put them either side, like that. Honestly. It would work. It would work. We don't need anything there, but actually no, that would give us access to these. Okay. In terms of armour, if we fill it again with heavy steel armour, -1 metre service ceiling, normal steel armour, 35 meters. Let's go with the steel armor, the heavy steel armor, and then again we're gonna just focus some of this bits and say like, right, we don't really care if it's armored or not. Which, doing the water is a fairly terrible choice. So that there would give us not enough. We just wouldn't be able to fly. What if we didn't have that coal store? That would be 8 meters service ceiling. Remove that, move it forward. Remove that, move it forward. And all of these. 13 meters. Just reduce some of that at the back there, because we don't really need all the coal, because we're not moving and we're not flying. Let's focus it down to what we're really trying to aim for here. Is there anywhere else I can save weight on? Don't think so. I don't think so. So heavy steel armor again, we'll try it, and then steel armor we're going to cover on there, around here. Sick bay. We don't even have a repair bay, do we? Quarters. 10 meters service ceiling. Still too low. Still far too low. Do we need all this ammo? Probably not. That helps us out a bit, actually. That does help us out. Right, okay, 15 meters. Not bad. Do I want a repair bay? I've got a sick bay, but I don't have a repair bay. Remove those. And put a repair bay in there. It fits in. Problem is, the rest don't. Okay. Remove that. Put that down to there. We need that in there to give us access. And then the supply hatches. Still need one more. There we go. Okay. It's weak from boarding. I mean, it does have a guard post. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Right. Anything else? Anywhere I can save stuff on? I mean, that's not got an ammo, but it'll come from there. Okay. Let's try that. Let's try that. So, armor. Heavy steel armor. Put these around here. Obviously, we've lost the deck guns, but not a big problem. 11 meters service ceiling. I don't think there's anywhere I can... You know what, I'll just make the back not as good. Do I care about the suspendium chambers? Once we land, we're not going to take off. I'd rather just be a brick. But we need the service ceiling to be able to at least maneuver into a decent position. Although having those is problematic. 13 meters. No, we're gonna have to steel armor them. I mean, steel armor's still good. Right, there we go. Okay, so we'll paint it. We'll fill it up with these standard colours. I'm not gonna put that hex pattern on because it'll take too long. So we'll just have a couple of lines in here. Like that. That'll do us for now. Okay, so save the design. We'll overwrite the previous one. And let's try that once more. So, we want to go for airship. We want to get the Harrier. And that is actually fairly decent for it. So we're going to put it right at the back. Because, why not? Actually, no. We'll move it. No, we'll keep it where it is. Keep it where it is. And we're going to add in the building. We'll go for dark cube. A couple of those. We'll add in a airship of Barry, maybe? Coventry. And not the Leroy. The Denver. That's the border. That we would just lose straight away. The Barry. 3,976, 4,019. Close enough. Right, let's see what this is like. How do you want to fight this? Dawn, day, dawn. And start the fight, and immediately ground the ship. Just ground the ship. There we go. So, I've got planes taking off. I've got cannons firing. Including these ones, and let's target that. It's going to now come into a position where the flak cannons are in range. And oh, did you see that? That just flicked up. That was some flick. And then it took that out. It's trying to go around the back. I'm going to move it. I'm just going to flip it around. It can still move. Oh, that's a mistake. The Barry is taking a lot of damage. It's on fire. It's all kinds of on fire. There's the Barry. No target available. But I think the Barry's not long for this world, so I'm going to flip it back round. There we go. And we'll start fighting the Coventry. The Barry is still all kinds of burning. Yeah. And we will target the Coventry. So the Barry's now taken out. The Coventry has taken a fairly decent amount of damage. Outside view you can see we have taken a lot of damage. Whoa, and it is from the points that we haven't armoured as well. That's the point. That's the problem. It's now been split in half. And we can't take off. Alright. We are still shooting the Coventry. How is our shots over here doing? Not doing too bad. We still have our bomber and a biplane. Let's just put it to max speed. The Coventry is... Oh, the Coventry's dead. The Coventry is now going to get destroyed. And we are now able to take on these. Damn it. The plane's just been shot out of the sky. So what have we got left? Cannon. And we're out of ammo. So technically we have lost there. That's a shame. It was closer than I thought. You know what? I'm going to leave it there. But I think with a bit of tweaking this could be decent. I think we need extra armour. I think we need to fully armour this thing. The whole thing needs to be armoured. With the heaviest armour that we can. So we'll have the heavy steel armour. Not the heaviest, but the thickest. Technically Dragonhide's the best, but let's just go for stuff we can research. So heavy steel armour. We need to add... what do we need to add? We need to add more ammo at the front, so probably put ammo there back in like we had it. And to give it the service ceiling, I think honestly the best way to do that would be to have lift and have not large suspension gas bags, but have these across, right? And we'll do that. And then it means that we can go where we want, but as soon as we start, we'll just land. So it doesn't matter if these get taken out. I think we'll try that at some point, but that'll be another episode. hope you have enjoyed the building of this one. I'm going to have a play about with this one and see what we can do with it. But yeah, if you want to see the next version of this, then by all means let me know. I don't think it's ever going to be a really efficient design because the planes are very, very expensive. And having just a dedicated carrier is probably better, and having just a dedicated gunship is better as well. But either way, this, I think, has been mildly successful and an interesting idea and mess around, which is what I'd like to do here. Either way, hope you have enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think we should do to improve it, or any changes in designs, etc, etc. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.